November 24th, 2015 meeting of the Monroe County Compensation Policy Commission will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Fisher?
Present.
Mr. Haldo?
Here.
Mr. Hova?
I better be here.
Mr. Kraus? Legislator Morelli?
Here.
Mr. Moyo? Mr. Putta?
Here.
Okay. Approval of the minutes. The clerk has provided the commission with a copy of the draft minutes from the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second. Second. John. All those in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Mr.
opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a comment on the minutes.
Yeah.
It appears that in reviewing the minutes and just having a chance before the meeting, there's no record of Mr. Moyo's request of the county attorney in the minutes. He did have several questions. We did follow up per the county attorney's request. We submit that in writing. We have submitted that in writing and have yet to receive comments back, but that's not noted in the minutes at all. So I'd like that to be addressed in the minutes before we approve them.
You guys want to take that on?
Sure. I've reviewed Mr. Moyo's requests. The questions that he asked in his letter were answered by the county attorney at the full legislature. And the purview of this commission is to recommend to the Monroe County Legislature their opinions, recommendations relative to the Monroe County Sheriff's salary. So that's the answer. The county attorneys answered those questions at the full legislature. So I don't see why that's holding anything up.
Well, through you, Mr. Chairman, to the county attorney. First of all, Mr. Moyo is not a member of the county legislature as of now, though he will be sworn in. So his request for the information, and we asked these questions to be answered at our last meeting, and we were told that they needed to be submitted in writing per the attorney's request, and that we would receive follow-up in writing. So I don't understand.
When were they submitted, Joe?
They were submitted, I believe, Friday. We met on Thursday, and we do have receipt that they were received.
Yes, they were. The county attorney is out today. She wasn't available to be here. They were received. The first question is the names, terms, and resignation dates of any members of the previous commission, which we do have that information available that we can give to you today.
These were the names of the last commission that was appointed. So it would be essentially, so that was in 2000.
Okay.
And their terms would expire in December 31st, 2000.
I'm sorry, when would these, through you, Mr. Chairman?
December 31st, 2000.
All right, let me ask you a question then. Did I understand you to say that this was commissioned in 2000?
The last study that was done was in 2000.
And I guess a question to the chair, to the county attorney, as I look at the charter, I've had a chance to study it, and please forgive me, I received this appointment like literally days before the first meeting. And so the county charter specifies that the commissions are standing commissions that last for 2 years. Can you answer, how was there a commission then for a single year?
All right, before we get into that.
Or may I, well,
wait, before we get into that, we need to approve the minutes.
Well, through you, Mr. Chairman, I
Okay.
think that,
We need to approve the minutes. So.
well, the minutes need to be altered, and obviously I apologize, we've gotten off on a bit of a tangent, but I believe that the minutes need to be altered to note that Mr. Moyo made a request that there's of the county attorney.
You know what,
and they're not-
all right, we can amend the minutes to show the questions that Mr. Moyer put in.
Perfect, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are we good on that? So, we have a revote, any other
well, if I
issues?
could,
Well,
and just to make the point clear, is, and for the county attorney, maybe the attorney didn't understand it. There's only one member of this commission that's on the legislature, and that's Mr. Morale. The rest of us are not. So, getting these things right is very helpful. Again, as you hear, we have questions. I have specific questions about, the legal standing of the commission, prior commissions, how these things were done. So it's important that we receive these in writing as opposed to just, addressing them before a full legislature, since I'm not a member of the legislature. In fact,
The county attorney has already opined on that, and the legislature has moved forward, has convened this commission. So the legal standing and the legal determination has already been made by the county attorney at the full legislature. That's why you've been convened. And so the purview of this commission is to make recommendations on the sheriff's salary.
And that's all we're supposed to do. So, can I get approval of the minutes?
With the addition of the,
I put that in.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay. You will find in your folders a report that was received by the clerk. Were there any other forms of correspondence received by your office, Ms. Slocum?
There were not.
Thank you very much. The next item is a presentation of the research requests which were made in our last meeting. You will find in your folders the research that was requested at the November 19th meeting of Monroe County Compensation Policy. Please take a moment to look through it. And Brett, you want to give us a...
Sure. Yep. Dennis, can you give Brad a copy
Thank you.
Mark's email so he can send us something?
Okay, I'd like to thank the staff for putting this information together so quickly for the commission. For the discussion portion of this meeting, I'd like to ask Brett to give a short description of the research that has been presented to the commission today.
Thank you, sir.
All yours.
I'm going to give you I'll give you an overview just so you can understand what you're looking at, so it's not confusing. So this first chunk here, section 1, starts off with Roman numeral I, data of sheriff salaries. So that in the chart, the black lines are the actual salary, and the green line is the number of employees. I'm sorry, that's the department, the number of employees in the entire department. There's a corresponding data sheet right behind it where you see the salary and the department size, so you can see the actual raw numbers that were used to make that chart. As we go to the next page, and we continue, it just continues on with the data set. The next one is the salary per department employee. So this one is, again, the bar graphs are still the salary of the sheriff, and the green line is the basically what cost each employee would be. So on a per employee basis, you can compare the salary there. And then the raw data is right there as well, so you can look at that data, parse it any way you like. The next one is a overall look at the entire state of New York. So it's looking at every sheriff's office. You can see the name of the sheriff, or in the case of, I think one of the other ones, it's a Commissioner of Public Safety in Westchester. What their salary is, what their department size is, what the population of that municipality is. That's what that page is. The next one goes through, and it's the salary of the sheriff, the department size, and we try to break it down by number of deputies or staff in different divisions. So if it's blank, it's because either someone didn't return a phone call or that it's not immediately available. Some don't break theirs down that easily. So we will get that for you. Actually, it looks like I neglected to copy and paste it in the Monroe data, so I'll get that to you later this afternoon. This is your looking through that one. Next section, section 3, is historical pay of the Monroe County Sheriff. So this goes back to 1995. You'll see the actual salaries. You'll see the consumer price index and what those increases would amount to. The next one is the COLA adjustment. And that cost of living is based on the Social Security numbers. So that's what that would look like if those numbers were applied. And the next page is the CPI data chart that shows what numbers we used. And the next page is the Social Security cost of living adjustment page, so you can see what numbers we used for that calculation. As we go into section 4, you'll see the salary schedule for the current Monroe County Sheriff's Office, going from all of, basically every sworn officer in the department. So you can see the range, what their pay scales are, going back through, actually, it even goes back to like heavy labor. So pretty much everybody in the Sheriff's Office is listed there by title and by their salary range. Next page is it's a comparison of salaries by department head through Monroe County government. So you'll see this is ordered by department head. So this is a chart here, and the next page is the raw data as well. So you can see there, you'll just note the public safety and the planning and ECWIN are using the average of the pay scale. Just those notes for you. There is in section 5, there's a question asked about the county's ability to pay or impact upon the fiscal health of the county. There's a letter or a memo written from Bob Franklin, the county CFO, addressing this particular topic.
Brett, not to
yes,
interrupt
sir.
you, but that was one of the specific questions.
Yes.
All right, so it is addressed.
So we did specifically address the effect on county finances. So went through and got a memo from the CFO on that one. There was a question on compensation package of what he's entitled to. You'll see this is the current, there's highlighted section for you that shows you that's the section he's connected to. He's connected to the Sheriff's Command and executive staff. That's the health insurance options there. And then there's a breakdown of what the actual policies include. Those are what are open to anyone in that pay scale group. Important to note, the sheriff is not entitled to overtime or any of those tangential things like an extra paid holiday, any of those specifically things, he's not entitled to any of those. This is what salary is flat. So just bear that in mind. And section number 7 is a breakdown of all the town municipal police departments. So by town, by salary, and by department size. And that kind of give you a pretty decent idea. And then there was a follow-up question that was made right at the end that asked about what's the population of towns where the sheriff's office is the primary respondent. So we broke that down based on each of the towns, depending on who had their own police department, we kind of broke that down. So you have a little bit of clarity to that. That, I believe, is everything that was asked for, and I will get the Monroe County numbers for that one chart that we didn't copy in. So that's the basic overview, and we tried to provide raw data for any of the charts, so that anything that you need to analyze should be available. I'll give you just a basis. Any data that's in there came from either publicly available sources like their budgets, or specifically a call to the departments. So those numbers are as accurate as I can present to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brett. I'd like to suggest to review these documents, since you've spent a lot of time with them. I want to thank the staff for doing this over the long weekend and take notes of any questions or comments that we have on the research. I'd like each commission member to come prepared with suggestions, thoughts, and proposals to discuss at the next meeting. Before moving on to the next agenda item and setting the meeting date, does anyone on the committee have any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. We would like to see that based on the reports done in previous, done by previous commissions, and we've had the chance to review some of them. For instance, the commission planning report back in 2000, June 30th, 2000, this was a document that was given to the county legislature, and my staff actually is going to pass that out to all members of the commission if we can take care of that, as well as the compensation report done in 1993. We have a copy of that for you as well. We had a chance to look through them and think that these reports showcase that at times interviews were conducted with the sheriff. So we would like to propose that an interview be conducted with the sheriff by this committee. We'd also like to propose an interview being conducted with the county executive-elect Anolfo, who will, based on what it is our understanding that this will take effect under her tenure. So we would like to request an interview with her. Those are sort of items that we'd like to have added.
So, first of all, this report is 2015 years old. Sullivan, my math isn't that good, 1993. No. I mean, we can look at it, it's fine, but interviewing the sheriff, that's not part of our purview. Joe?
Mr. Chairman, I think that these are, I'm not
We're
passing
talking
these out.
about, we're talking about the compensation of the sheriff. The sheriff personally has nothing to do with that. We have been asked, and it's really quite clear, to look at his salary. That's it. That's all we're supposed to do.
No, I understand.
So
Mr.
interviewing the
Chairman, I don't
sheriff,
understand why an interview with the sheriff wouldn't be within our purview. I think that
it's
that's.
not necessary.
Well, Mr. Chair, if I may, the sheriff added a raise in his budget last year, and whatever the process was there, but he must have had some reason why he arrived at the figure he did. In addition to that, there may have been changes in responsibilities and things. We don't, and maybe even some of the accuracy or changes in this information. It would only be fair to ask the sheriff how he came up with that figure. And it may even be, we may even find it to be low, and he's not giving himself enough.
Well, I think
But it's not, it wouldn't be, it would be reasonable, and in order to make an informed decision, to ask any employee who was asked for a raise to how he came up with
Well,
that
first of all, I
number.
think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, did he put in for a raise?
It was done last year. It was done last year.
I don't think he did it last year.
It wasn't last year.
But even
So
2 years ago, there must be some
in last
reasoning
year's
behind
budget,
that.
I'm just going to say as a chairman, I'm not going to do that.
we don't
I'm
even-
not going to interview him because I'm not going to, this is not part of it. We are to look at his salary. And to interview him, I'm not doing it. I don't know, does anybody else, guys, how do you feel about that?
I think it's appropriate as an elected official, and it's up to the Monroe County Legislature to vote in the salary, and our charge is to come up with a recommendation based on the data that we've asked for. I think it's totally inappropriate. It'd be inappropriate to ask the VA for hers, it'd be inappropriate for the county executive, it'd be inappropriate for the county clerk. So why are we singling out the sheriff? I'm opposed to it.
John?
I guess I'd be surprised, having known the last three sheriffs, if they ever had anything inquiring about anything, compensation or otherwise.
John?
But I mean, I agree with our, as the sheriff didn't ask for this commission, the Monroe County Legislature did, so.
Well, to be fair, Mr. Chairman, the Monroe County Legislature asked for the commission back in 2000, and the commission brought in the sheriff and conducted interviews. I don't necessarily think that this would be inappropriate. The sheriff is, obviously, there's a reason behind why we're doing this. We should look into it. I'd be happy to review all salaries of all the elected officials, but the county attorney has told me, not in writing, that it's not in our purview to look at other salaries. It's just for the comment that was made saying that we shouldn't single out the sheriff, not me or anyone else on this committee who is singling out the sheriff. That was the purview of the legislature's request, which...
Well, the legislature, as far as I'm concerned, didn't ask us in our purview to interview the sheriff. And you know what, Joe, to be honest with you, I'm just not going to do it.
Well, Mr. Chairman, the legislature didn't give us, the legislature asked us to meet. So we're here doing our due diligence. I don't think that the legislature should have or shouldn't have asked us to interview with the sheriff. We're simply suggesting an additional item for this commission to look at.
I appreciate that, Joe, but no.
In addition to that, Mr. Chair, according to the county charter, D1, right, this commission is seated for if it's done properly, for 2 years, and we could be called back during any time during those 2 years to look at the other employees that are covered by this, so it's not restricting just to the sheriff. In addition to that, this is different than a situation where we are just asked to look at a salary. This is a situation where somebody has in the past submitted a specific number. And this isn't just a matter of, to make an informed decision, it's only right that we ask that person, and he has a right to, as far as I can see, this is subject to open meeting, he has a right to ask to speak before this commission and explain how he came up with that number, which might enlighten us and make a more informed decision.
Well, first of all,
Basically,
Gary,
we're going to make a decision without even asking the person who does the job how they feel about their compensation.
well, Gary, first of all, we are not commissioned for 2 years. We were only commissioned till December 31st. That's it.
Well, I look at the chart, and if I may, the county
That's
attorney.
correct.
If
Am I
I could
correct?
get,
Chairman is correct.
yeah, if we could,
Okay,
and
so-
again, not being in the legislature, if I could get a copy of that decision, because as I read this, it's pretty clear that these are 2-year terms. There hasn't been a commission since the year 2000. And just to make clear, I'm very happy to be here, and I want to work on this and make sure the sheriff gets fair compensation. However, being someone that's been in law enforcement for 30 years, been involved in the law after my term in law enforcement, very process-driven to make sure that things are done within the law. And again, this comes back to another thing about the question of urgency is if a commission expires after 2 years, which generally the charter tells us it does, and vacancies have to be filled within 30 days, I clearly can't be here filling a vacancy of a commission that does not or did not exist.
Could you re-address that again?
Well, if I may, for the entire one, and then, sir, I wasn't finished. And then,
But Gary, you've said this 3 times.
well, no, I'm making a request to the attorney, the county attorney, through the chair, to get a copy of this decision, because there is a conflict. And what I haven't said before is, again, as we look at the charter, it's for 2 years. The commission hasn't existed since the year 2000, and as we heard, that expired at the end of 2000. So the question would be is when we could make this recommendation. Because at this point, we are just a group of good people looking at this. And then if the commission, as the charter states, are to be reinstated on January 1st, and we can then legally make that recommendation. Which goes back to your point, Mr. Chair, is the amount of time that we have to look and do this research.
Well, you've got the research in front of you.
Right, and it gives me much more time to do it. So I'm really interested in what, if I could get a look at this decision, please.
Decision for what?
Gotcha.
On the interpretation of the charter.
The time to debate that would have been at the legislature when the legislature decided to convene this commission. The commission has been convened, you're part of the commission, with the goal of recommending to the legislature what the sheriff's salary should be. That's what the goal of this commission is. I don't know how else I could say that.
Yeah, I know lots too. So, moving
I'm
on.
putting that in writing then.
It's been in public forum, it's been
Is
at
there
the
a copy?
legislature, and the
Yeah.
county attorney has opined that the commission is legally here, has been convened.
Yeah, and again, can I get a copy of that?
Is it on YouTube? I think it's on, you can go on YouTube. All of the public meetings are aired on YouTube or on the
So
legislature.
it's in the minutes for the legend.
It's also in the minutes,
It's in the
right?
minutes for the legend.
Right, so could I get a copy of that, please? The minutes, yeah, please.
Yes.
They're on the website.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
We good? Since we are taking the weekend to examine this information, I'd like the commission to meet again on Monday, November 30th, to discuss the research that's been given to us. It's 4 o'clock here in the Watts Conference Center for everybody.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind me asking, what is the urgency behind, our meetings are happening like rapid fire. Is there a reason behind the speed? We've asked for a timeline on this. We don't get an answer on the timeline, and then these meetings are being coordinated, week within each other. I mean,
It's the holiday season, Joe. We've got, let's put it this way.
perhaps,
We're
Mr. Chairman, that we should wait until January so that we can wait until after the
No, we're
holiday
commissioned,
season.
we're commissioned until December 31st. Joe, we're looking at one man's compensation. Sheriff, you've got the research in front of you.
And I've asked for more research, Mr. Chairman, which I've been denied.
No, you've got the research you brought. I mean, it doesn't, go ahead and read it. Your stuff goes back to 1993 and the year 2000.
Yeah, and in 2000, we've asked for, they had
Joe,
they brought the sheriff in, and the sheriff
Joe, I've already
was
opened
interviewed.
Joe, that's
So
not gonna happen.
I've asked for additional information, Mr. Chairman, and
But the
that's been
information you
denied.
requested doesn't make sense, so we're not doing it. We've already gone past that. So, if, the next meeting is for November 30th, is that okay with you?
Works for me.
Everybody else? You guys?
If you mind just giving us a second to take a look.
Mr. Chair, I just want to be very clear on the standing of the committee and when you can legally make a legal recommendation that the county can act on. And this is why this becomes an important matter, because if that isn't until January 1st, as the charter states, and cannot go into effect until January 2017, as the charter states, it's not clear to me, again, what Legislator Monroe says, what could possibly be the urgency?
It's not a legal ruling. It's a recommendation.
It's a recommendation we're making to the state.
Right.
to
But
make
where
to
it
the-
becomes
to the
legal, sir,
county
is for it to be a
legislature.
legal recommendation, it has to occur after the first of the year.
No.
That's what the charter states.
You want to hit this again, because I'm like,
It's incorrect.
that isn't.
Thank you.
Well, actually, you can read the charter all day long, and what Mr. Puddock has mentioned is actually absolutely correct. It's an interpretation apparently by the county attorney. Take a look at the charter. It says that we're a 2-year charter. We review and give a recommendation before July 1st. So it's in the year of the term. Our term will be over. We've missed July. As far as anyone who's taken a look at that, the charter, they would see that it's
So we
incorrect.
don't,
So
so we're just.
I'm
gonna
just
have to
making a
read it
point,
this
Mr.
way.
Chairman, to
We're just going to have to read it this way. So,
note
Monday the 30th, 4 o'clock.
That'll work for me, Mr. Chairman. I would ask for the following, the agenda is given to us here. Is it possible for the agenda to be given to us ahead of time so that we have the opportunity to review what will be discussed,
Yeah.
as well as a draft of the minutes to be sent to the minority office of the county legislature so that they can pass that out to us.
We can do that too. We good? So the next meeting of the Monroe County Compensation Policy Commission will be on Monday, November 30th at 4, here at the Watts Conference Center. Madam Clerk, please see to it the county website is updated. For the next meeting information, thank you all for your time today. Hope everyone has a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Mr. Chairman.
Meeting is now adjourned.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.